Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. On this week's episode, I'm going to talk to you about Bitcoin documentaries, and also Bitcoin buying the real thing and not getting grayscale or getting any GBTC or any fake paper Bitcoin, as we see how important it is to not do that. Also, just a check in with a fellow pleb, which is me and you listening, talking about what it's like to be here in the bear market, the bare naked ladies market. Um, so I wonder what kind of song they would make up for this. But anyways, also want to talk to you about a couple documentaries that are coming out on Movies Plus, and also chickens. Yes, chickens. I am putting out the bat signal to get advice on raising chickens. Um, so before we get into all that, I want to thank our sponsor, the Bitbox O2 hardware wallet from Shift Crypto. Go to shiftcrypto.ch/Bitcoin Made Simple and use the promo code Bitcoin Made Simple to get 5% off your order. And please, for the love of God, get your coins off the exchange because you just shouldn't hold the merit there anymore. We see it week in and week out, new reasons as to why self custody is so important. So, on top of that, also upstream data. I got my black box, and holy crap. I'll probably put like a YouTube video or splice something in so you guys can check out the difference it makes in the sound. Unbelievable. As I said to my wife, I was like, "Oh, like, did you notice you can't hear the miner anymore?" And she was like, I kind of had tuned it out. Like, we kind of all got used to the noise, so you just or ignore it. Um, but yeah, it's gone now. Can't hear it. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, and so thank you. Go to upstreamdata.ca and you can check them out and get some miners there because as I hopefully can get a Bitcoin mining business rolling here. I'm just waiting on a couple things. If I can get that rolling, we're going to be talking to Upstream because they have a ton of miners. And guess what? The miners are a really good price right now. So I know my last episode I said was buying a Bitcoin miner the dumbest thing I've done in 2022. But with the prices where they're at now, not a bad idea, especially if you have some cheap electricity to use. So, anyways, that and then also shout out to Movies Plus. Go to mymoviesplus.com and use the promo code Cory to get 1 year for $24. By the way, I am blown away uh, by how many people use the promo code Cory, Cory. Um, I don't look at this too often, and I pull the statistics for other reasons for other people. Apologies, I don't have a cough button or a dump button, and I'm still getting over the flu that I had over Christmas. Um, but yeah, so the promo code was pulling statistics for affiliates that we work with, and how many times the promo code is used. I never even thought to look at my promo code because you know I mean, it doesn't matter. Like it's my company. I'm just throwing the promo code out there as a way to be, a thank you to you listeners. Because this is the only place I mention it. That's the other thing. Um, and you guys have used it a ton. It's amazing. Um, like proportionally based on how many people are listening, like a solid, I don't know, 15%. I mean, that's crazy. So the Yeah, so if you're a part of the 85% that does not use my promo code, guess what? You better hurry up before they run out. They won't run out, but you don't want to be the last one out of the listeners. Yeah, it just blew me away, to be completely honest. It was this morning during a meeting, and I pulled numbers and I was pulling numbers for other stuff, and I was like, oh my God, a lot of people use my promo code. Like, where do I even mention that? I was like, I think I just mentioned it in my podcast. Um, it's the third high of all the promo codes we have. It's the third highest, third most used. That's crazy. Um, so thank you guys, for supporting Movies Plus and helping, push us in the direction of fighting the good fight and getting us in a position to fight for free speech and stand for what really matters in life. So we couldn't do it without you guys, and we really really need your support. So if you're not one of the 15% that has used the promo code, then go to mymoviesplus.com, use the promo code Cory, and you'll get to see awesome stuff. I might as well get into that right off the bat, tell you what's going on there. Then I'll get into the Bitcoin stuff. But and I apologize again. My voice is really raspy. I don't listen, so I don't know what it sounds like. But to me, internally, you know how your voice sounds different to you as you talk. Internally, it still sounds weird. Um, but like I when I had the flu over Christmas, I was coughing so hard that I think I injured my vocal cords. Um, so yeah, I think it's slowly getting better. You guys tell me. I mean, the difference between last one and this one, it was just last time it was pretty bad, but I think I'm getting better. So apologies for the raspy voice. I'm sorry. I have to smoke another cig for this raspy voice. People actually used to do that to get the nice radio baritone voice. They'd smoke their cigars and everything. I'm not saying anything against smoking cigarettes or cigars, but you know, it just was not a there's better ways to improve your voice. Maybe take some voice lessons. So yeah, it sounds like my things are really causing this. I'll stop that voice, I promise. But my normal voice, maybe it'll be back eventually. I don't know. But anyways, to get into why you should use the promo code Cory at Movies Plus, is we have a doc coming out called The Real Timeline. The Real Timeline withholds the name of the person because for you know reasons, let's just say. Um, and it is about the uh, George Floyd uh, murder and the timeline of what happened. And it's a compilation. Miriam Hanine, I don't even know how to say her last name. Sorry, Miriam, if you're listening to this. She made a documentary called Vanishing of the Bees, which uh, Elliot Page, whatever, um, Elliot Page create or did the voice for, did the narration. Duh, pull it together, Cory. Jeez. Um, and it was called The Vanishing of the Bees. Did really well on Netflix. But anyway, so she put this together, and she compiled body cam footage, footage inside the store, unseen things you've never seen before, and pieced it together in chronological order to show you what happened. And it's her interpretation of what the reasons are. The timeline is real, obviously, but then she's offering opinions and letting you take a look and draw your own conclusions. Um, and yeah, it's interesting, and it's also just sad. I mean, it's shocking. So like, if you're really like triggered by stuff, you'll see a lot, and in the entire incident, it's just sad that it happened, sad that it took place, and then sad for all the fallout that happened afterwards. So anyways, that's what that documentary is. But then also we have a film festival coming up on March 3rd. And that film festival, you will have access to it if you are a subscriber. So if you're a subscriber, check it out. You can check out all the movies that we bring in. You can vote on the movies because there is a cash prize for the documentaries and the feature films and all the content. So yeah, you have all that laid out in front of you. Plenty of reasons. And if you guys know of any Bitcoin docs that I don't have that would be good additions to this, because it doesn't have to be a new one, but maybe Peter McCormack, maybe you guys should tag him and me and say, get your docs in there. I'll send him an email too. But yeah, get his docs in there. But yeah, so the film festival, and then the George Floyd documentary, which I mean, again, so this is part of being a free speech platform. I'm not endorsing anyone's message, anything like that, but just saying that um, this documents the event and her um, theory behind it, and yeah, and but just in general, the whole thing was sad. That was a sad moment in our history, and it triggered um, triggered a lot of terrible things that then happened as repercussions. So I hope that we can all come through to the other side and start to unify more instead of fighting each other so much because we have more in common than you would think. I like to think that 99, well, that's maybe too much, 95% of us are all on the same side when it comes to most everything, except we are just gaslit by our flavor of news that we consume. So be careful because I watch it. I watch on both sides, and both sides are gaslit by different things, and it's dangerous, dangerous. Um, but there is some hope for humanity. I believe. I think Bitcoin is that hope for humanity, but rarely does it actually play out uh, in other parts of life. But if you saw Damar Hamlin, the Buffalo Bills football player that collapsed on the field, had a cardiac event. Of course, there were people speculating whether the vaccine had anything to do with it and whatever. But by and large, for the most part, everybody was on the same team. Everybody was pulling for him, hoping for him to pull through, and praying for him. Uh, and that was pretty awesome to see. So if you're not into religion or praying, then that's your thing. But someone like myself who is, it was pretty awesome to see pretty uniformly everybody getting behind this young man who is from Pittsburgh, like me, who graduated from the University of Pittsburgh, like me. Um, and so for that reason, I mean, we obviously he's much younger than me. So, but for that reason, I had felt a connection to him. And I was just happy to see, and he seems like a good dude. I didn't know that much about him beyond the football field prior to this incident, but learning that because if you guys don't know, Pitt football is good, but like, not a premier program. And he had offers to go other places, but he had a young brother that that was needed a male role model in his life. So he chose to stay home and live in Pittsburgh and go to college in Pittsburgh. So his brother would have him around. And that's pretty freaking awesome. So shout out to him and I hope that means we're going in the right direction as human beings. Um, but whenever it comes to, when it comes to uh, what's going to solve this human catastrophe that we are a part of right now in 2023. We all know that Bitcoin is a big part of that. Um, and I've been kind of in a weird spot with Bitcoin lately. Like, I mean, not in my belief in it and feelings, but I actually just, I think I've mentioned this before. I am so far in the mood that Satoshi was in when she said that he didn't, if you don't have if you don't understand it, and don't get it, I don't have time to explain it to you. And that's kind of the mode I'm in. I don't know, like over Christmas, a couple people asked about it, brought it up, and I just like, yeah, it's bear market right now, but it'll be fine. And I just really didn't feel like getting into it and explaining it further or trying to explain it and trying to explain why it's going to be fine and why everything will be okay and blah blah blah. So I guess maybe the this podcast is the current extent of my evangelical my evangelizing on Bitcoin. And I don't know why that is. But I will say, I mean, don't hate me for it because like I don't know. I just see so many people out there that are like hating on Bitcoin, saying it's good, it's over, it's all done, and I'm like, I honestly, I don't care that you don't get it. Like that that dum dum that was on Joe Rogan with the man bun pulling so tight that it pulled all of his common sense out of his brain, and was trying to sound like he knew something and Bitcoin has it's at $16,000, so it has $17,000 left to go down. And give me a break. Get over yourself, bro. Um, but for people like that, like Bitcoin Twitter was jumping all over this guy, and I thought about tweeting, and I was like, I don't care that this guy doesn't get it. I don't. Good. More for me. That's more for me. That sounds very selfish. I guess it is selfish, but I don't care. I don't care that you don't get it. I don't care that you don't understand. I don't care that you think it's going to zero. I know it's not. I don't care what you think. If you're a Bitcoin detractor, I don't even hear you because I don't care. I really don't. And that's the point I'm at right now. And maybe this comes from my in my religious background. I am a very I like to stay relatively private, even though I've mentioned it on here a handful of times. I like to stay private with that, but like I'm just not an evangelical person. I'm not gonna be the evangelical Christian going out there, blah 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 blah. I just, to be honest, it kind of makes me cringe. Um, so I don't like to see it. Um, and but everybody has different strokes for different folks. It is what it is. I can't say that's right or wrong. I'm not right or wrong. It's just it is how I am. That's how I feel. Early on with Bitcoin, I was like super evangelical, telling everybody I could. And I think that's maybe what happens whenever people are new to the space and you finally understand it and get what's going to happen with this is you're just like, I want to shout it from the rooftops, tell everybody. But I've been through it now. I mean, with this like 3 years going through this and I just don't, other people didn't pick it up right away. Like I thought when I finally understood it 3 years ago, I was like, oh man, I am gonna be like everybody else is gonna pick it up like me. Just gotta give them a little bit of time, gotta explain it the right way. They're all gonna get it. And they don't. And I don't know. I guess if they want to talk about it and have an like honest intellectual conversation about it, maybe I'll entertain it. Um, but overall, you know, people are like, "Hey, saw Bitcoin's doing bad." I was like, "Oh, really? Is it?" I didn't even look at the price. I don't care. Um, so people they want to dunk on you for being a Bitcoiner. They want to dunk on all of us. Uh, they're idiots. Um, so I just again, and people like really want Joe Rogan to get Bitcoin. I don't care if Joe Rogan gets Bitcoin. I don't. If I met Joe Rogan, if I went on Joe Rogan, would I talk to him about Bitcoin? Probably not, because I don't care. I don't care if he doesn't get it. I don't know. I'm lying. I'd probably mention it. I'd see if he could have a 20, 30-minute discussion about it. Um, and I don't know, maybe, I mean, I'm not saying there's other people that understand it better, could explain it way better, but maybe a moron like myself would be one of the best people to talk to him about it. Cause I could be like, dude, yeah, like I know people get all preachy about it, but I mean, it is what it is. It's going to take over the world. Like the internet, like I've explored it all. I get it. It's going to happen. I'm not going to pressure you into exploring it, but if you do want to understand where the money is going into the future, this would be a lot like in the 1990s, wrapping your head around the internet very early. So just do that, and that's pretty much what I'd probably say. Um, because the other thing is you're gonna push people away. I think Joe Rogan said before that he's like, I don't like talking about Bitcoin because people get so intense about it. And believe me, I understand that. I used to be one of those people. Um, and I get passionate about it. I still do, but like again, it's just this weird spot that I'm in. I don't know, like any of you plebs that have been doing this longer than me. Is this cyclical? Is this a bear market vibe? I don't know. But I can't. If it went on an insane bull run right now, I can't see myself changing how I feel. I was just gonna be like, yeah, I just don't really feel like explaining it to people. Um, I mean, I'll explain it. I don't feel like arguing. I guess that I'm saying it wrong. Not that I don't feel like talking about it. Not that I don't feel like explaining it, because I will do those things. But I don't really feel like arguing with anyone about it, because I have found that if you were arguing against Bitcoin, you see this on Twitter all the time. If you're a Bitcoin detractor and you're going to attack it, you simply are not having an intellectually honest conversation. You're not. Because if you were being honest and you were really truly looking at what Bitcoin does, you would get it. Like Alex, blows my mind. Like Alex Berenson, who the Twitter he's on Twitter. He was banned from Twitter for all his questions about what was going on over the last couple of years, and then he sits there and like makes fun of Bitcoin, and I'm like, dude, you haven't got it. Like that's my response to somebody that like makes fun of it or says they do, like it's worth nothing. I'm like, it's fine that you think that, because I just know that it means you don't understand it. You don't, and they can't tell you honestly that they do understand it and think that it's worthless, because to understand Bitcoin is to understand how insanely valuable it is. So, and they're not going to get that, but it's one of my favorite things in the world to be right about something, and to be right about this and know that you're right. And it doesn't matter if other people believe that you're right, but you are. And you just sit there and like, somebody like Alex Berenson making fun of it. I'd be like, that's fine. Like you're gonna disagree with this statement, but you don't understand it. You haven't spent the time. You do not fully comprehend or understand what Bitcoin is. And I'd leave it at that. And they're gonna disagree with that. And they're gonna think, no, I do, blah, blah. They don't. They don't get it. So anyone who is a Bitcoin detractor that is arguing against Bitcoin is not having an honest conversation with you, because they have not honestly looked at Bitcoin and understood what it is. So that's my rant on that. I didn't expect to rant on that for that long, but um yeah, just like super annoyed with that lately. And so yeah, it's not that I don't want to explain Bitcoin. I'll do it. I'll have conversations. Obviously, I have conversations all the time about Bitcoin. I have a podcast about Bitcoin. But if you're gonna fight me on it, if you're gonna say it's worth nothing, then I'm just gonna say whatever. Go do your thing. Like like I know I'm right, and you'll find out eventually that I am right. So I could say something much worse, but I'm just gonna say that because whatever, you know, they people are gonna make up their minds about things, and the other people, let's like there's the people that don't fully comprehend it, and then what's even worse is the people that do fully comprehend it, but they claim that it's not the only cryptocurrency, and those, ladies and gentlemen, are the scammers. Those are the people you have to really watch out for. So don't even entertain arguments with them, because they are trying to scam people out of their Bitcoin with these other garbage tokens. So yeah, don't even entertain those conversations, because it's not even you're not going to fall for anything, but that conversation might mislead somebody else. So just just put up a wall and be like, you're wrong about this, and I don't care that you don't believe that, but you are, and one day you'll understand that. I don't know. Who knows? I might be the worst Bitcoin spokesperson. I don't know. I sound pretty bad right now, I guess. But um but yeah, I've just fully moved into the if you don't get it, I don't have time to explain it to you. I'm sorry. And yeah, and I kind of hope more people don't get it, because I love Bitcoin being at this current price. It's a great time. This is a blast. I wish I had more money to buy it with because I'd be dumping everything into this. But unfortunately, I've dumped a ton of it into Movies Plus, such as one will do when you're an entrepreneur trying to build a business. So yeah, it is what it is. We are where we are. We are growing, and we need to. I need to grow the business so that I can grow my stack even more. And like I said, I'm kind of cool with it staying here because I need like another solid year or two of stacking at this level. That's what I'd really, really like. If I could, if we could stack, if you're listening to this, obviously you're stacking at these levels. If we could all stack at these levels for 2 more years, we are all done essentially. I mean, we're like, that's like life changing levels of Bitcoin that you can stack over the next 12 months, next 24 months. So even 12 months, I mean, even 3 months, life changing amount you can stack today. Geez, price is $16,000. Get it while you get it while it's hot. Um, but speaking of getting it while it's hot, get a Bitbox O2 hardware wallet from Shift Crypto. Go to shiftcrypto.ch/Bitcoin made simple and use the promo code Bitcoin made simple to get 5% off your order. And please do that to take control of your coins, get them off the exchange, and take that life changing, life altering money and put it into your own hands. Because, for example, the next thing I wanted to get into was, you know, the grayscale and the paper Bitcoin. They're not responding. Well, they responded to Gemini's most recent thing saying, oh, they're lying and saying terrible things. But Gemini, like the Winklevi, came out and like basically called what was going on like pure fraud with Barry. It was pretty strong words, and they didn't just use them out of emotion. It was calculated. It was done with lawyers, so they wouldn't just say that. So something's up, and I know that people are scrambling, trying um, to save their Bitcoin and redeem it. But again, uh, this problem doesn't exist if you just stack regular Bitcoin. Just just buy it, put it on your cold wallet, cold storage wallet, put it on your Bitbox O2 hardware wallet or cold card too. I mean, hey, I think Bitbox would even agree. That's another good alternative if you don't have a Bitbox and you can't get one for some reason, but you should be able to get one. But any cold storage, please. But really, the easiest to use is the Bitbox O2 hardware wallet. Very simple, touch screen, easy to use, size of a thumb drive. So easy, a caveman like me can even do it. And yeah, I you just gotta self custody it. You know, it's very important, and you need to do some research to understand how to do it properly because apparently Luke, as we saw, Luke Dash Jr. Did not properly store his Bitcoin. He had it on a hot wallet, which is really hard for me to believe with a Bitcoin core developer, but I don't know. Maybe that really did happen. I don't know. The last thing I want to talk about is chickens and them coming home to roost. Quite seriously, I am going to be getting chickens in the next couple months. And if you have any advice on what to do with said chickens, um, pitfalls that you found, things that if you did it could go back whenever you started, um, how would you do it? What are the things you would do differently? That would be greatly appreciated. I know that we have to get them in the next couple months, and we will be putting them in like a brooding box, which is basically just like a container, putting the stuff in there, giving them stuff to eat and everything while they're little babies, little chicks. Um, and then as they grow, we'll get them and it gets warmer and they grow their feathers, blah blah blah. We will then put them into the chicken coop. And we're thinking of starting with four. Like I think that's a good number, but you guys tell me if you've done this before. Is four too many? Is four too little? Or is that like Goldilocks, just right? Um, and so, anyways, it's the price of eggs. I mean, this isn't the reason to do it. We always wanted to do it, but like we were gonna do it this spring anyways. And my wife just said that the price, like a dozen eggs, was like $4. Like I remember it used to be like you could get them for like 80 cents. And this isn't talking like, oh, when I was a young whippersnapper, they were 89 cents a dozen. This was like a couple years ago, like very recently. If you're a Bitcoiner, you understand why inflation is out of control. Um, but yeah, so the price of eggs through the roof. So that's another reason to do it. But that's not the only reason we're have them. I mean, you let them out in the yard, they eat the ticks. That's a benefit. Um, and if you guys have any tips on acclimating them to a dog, because our dog rules the roost, let's say. She has the acres of property that she goes out every morning, goes on what I call it the nature walk, and we go around and patrol the border. She makes sure everything's in order. The border hasn't been breached, and then goes back inside and she runs the show on the property. Um, but we'll be introducing chickens into that, and I don't know what that's going to do. I'm sure it'll be an adjustment period, but I'm sure they'll get along. Our neighbors have chickens that have occasionally wandered into our yard. I know that they will become territorial, and we should have be fine there with our chickens marking their territory and vice versa. And we don't live like right next door. We have a lot of space. But my dog has chased one of their chickens before when they came in our yard. Um, and she didn't do anything to it. She got up next to it, and I was like, oh God, here we go. Is she gonna kill this chicken?" But she didn't. So I don't know. Um, we'll see what happens there, but it'll be nice. The I'm gonna heat them. I have to have a heat lamp for the chicks whenever they're brand new, but the heat lamp will be on them. But I won't really need the heat lamp too much because they're gonna be in the same room as the Bitcoin miner, and they'll be in the which is in the black box, and it's nice and toasty warm in there. Um, and we'll see. Maybe eventually I move the miner to the outside and put the black box right up against the coop and just heat it that way because that could work. Um, so yeah. Anyways, might as well hash if you're gonna use the electricity to heat up the chicken coop. Um, so yeah, it's my kids are beyond excited. It's gonna be fun, but yeah. Anyways, chickens coming home to roost. Any advice from you plebs? Please send it my way. But that's all I got for you guys at this point. Just go to mymoviesplus.com and don't be one of the last ones to use the promo code Cory to get one whole year for $24. And thanks again to the BitBox02 hardware wallet from Shift Crypto. Go to shiftcrypto.ch/Bitcoin made simple. Use the promo code Bitcoin made simple to get 5% off. And I will talk to you guys later.